Hey everyone, we're at Gen Con 2019, and I'm at the Lucky Duck Games booth, and I'm joined by Michał. How's it going, man?
Hello. It's amazing. We got a great reception on all of our games for recent 3 days.
Yeah, because you've got a big announcement, right? We've got Time of Legends Destinies, and everyone's talking about it. And you're the designer.
Yes, I'm one of the designers. It's just freshly announced like less than a week ago. It's a brand new game. It's a partnership between us, the Lucky Duck Games, and the Mythic Games. We took the world of Joan of Arc from them, which is amazing, and these gorgeous minis. They're like the super detailed, super like I would just want to touch them. They're so cool. So, the game is the very first ever competitive RPG game. So we're pushing the boundaries really far this time. This is an up-driven game. So let me get to the game.
Sure, sounds good.
So every player has their destiny, has the name Destinies. On every card you have the short backstory for the destiny and also multiple ways to fulfill the destiny. Though, the destinies intertwine a lot. So every action you make, every step you take, every decision you make affects not only the progress of your gameplay, but the state of the world, the narrative of other players. And the world is both active and reactive to what you do, so it's a living, full, vivid world. So, what you do? Using the app is the representation of the world, so it delivers the narrative for you. So, on your turn, you choose one of the points of interest to go to. For a staple of example, let's go to the inn. So, we go to the inn. We have a short overview text. What's happening here is first there's the text, but there's also a lot of information hidden here. The information looks different based on which character you're playing. So, this information is public. You're playing with only one device. So, everything you see here has a different meaning. It sparkles different ideas in players' heads because of their secret info they got from the very beginning of the game. You have multiple options here to do. And let's go for the first one. Let's go to listen to the latest gossip. As you can see, it's a wisdom test. In the wisdom test, as in any other test, you'll be always rolling 2 main dice. Also, if you want to push yourself a bit, you're using this special effort dice. They're only limited though, because you only get 1 per turn, so you might want to save them for more important parts, like listening to the gossip. Yeah. Let's roll the dice. I got 4 pips in here, in total, on this dice I rolled. And as you can see on this board, we check how many success tiers you have achieved. For this one, we got only 1. If we rolled at least 6, we got a 2, at least 9, we got a 3, and so on. As you can see, we input into the app, though. You may notice there is no proper number to input. There's not like a success or fail. There's a full spectrum of successes. So for every single test in a game, there are plethora of options of things that will happen based on the state of the world, based on the role, based on your decisions. So for example, this is the gossip you would get in this situation. The other thing is the scan and pay technology we are using from the Chronicles of Crime game. So the scan and pay technology allows us to scan any card from the game. As you can see, every Destiny card and every single item card has a QR code. We are scanning them. Unfortunately, due to the bad glare in Gen Con lights, I have to use the backup copies. Let's scan the Herbalist Destiny. This is a backup copy of the very QR code. Scanning it. And as you can see, that's what Innkeeper tells us about our Destiny. Every people has a special response on what they say. Let's finish the turn for the Herbalist and move the turn to the Deserter. The other thing we do in the world is explore. As you may notice, all the tiles have the Fog of War side and a revealed side. When you explore the tile, the game shows you a quick overview of the tile, and as you populate it with points of interest, you get a one-liner describing this very point of interest. So as I place the wolf then, I might have an educated guess, no much talking is going to happen there. Maybe we're in for some action. Let's delve into it. We have this brief description. We can see that there are at least 5 beasts present there. So you have your standard test, attack the wolves, run away, but also have this amazing QR code scanning option, throw something into the den. So we can throw literally anything. You may throw your special tarot card, and guess what would happen? Nothing. Like, it's a card. You throw a card in it, wolf den. Why would anything happen? You can also throw your faithful animal companion. Would you do that?
I wouldn't.
Yeah, why would you? It would probably die. So, like, every decision has its consequences. Let's throw a lantern in there. Also, I'm using the backup QR codes for the Gen Con. Throwing the lantern. And as you can see, you hear a loud roar of flames, and soon almost half of the pack is severely burned or dead. So for every single item, there's a specific response. And every response, there is no foreshadowing of what this happened. It's based on your pre-assumptions. So you know what will happen, and you're the only person to be blamed for bad decisions.
Right.
So there is that for like sample turns. As the game progresses through, you'll be having a bit more narrative and entwining and entangling. And as players progress through and they're nearby their destinies, they're fulfilling their destinies, they're going to enter a chain of events based on their destinies they chose. So for example, the deserter has one of the ways to fulfill their destiny is to bring a bad guy to a trial. No spoilers specific. So when they open the trial, there's the final chain of events. They'll be presenting evidence, they'll be bringing the witnesses. But based on previous decisions, based on what they did in the flow of the game, but also on the decisions made in the final of the game, it will progress either faster or slower. You have a killer evidence, the case is open, shut, you done, we won. But maybe it will take longer for you to prove the innocence or the guilty, you never know. And the other players may open their own chain of events in the very same time, just rushing through it. You may be outrun in the very end of the game by the other player. But then there's the question, so why don't I just finish my trial and win the game also? Because the narrative is so entwined and I'm losing the word, so thick that everything you do has such a big meaning in the world that when Herbalist fulfills their destiny, you just know that the destiny of the deserter is impossible to fulfill. Because for every scenario with a grand arc, because every scenario is written by a different writer. We have professional writers, so I'm the designer for the game, and I'm good with doing the dice stuff and all the things, but for writing stuff we have professionals who do an amazing job. There are multiple layers of the plot in here, and as you go through the narrative, there's plenty of surprises for you to go. So in the box there will be multiple scenarios, each one with different tile set, new destinies coming there, so each scenario is kind of 2 hours experience, depending of course on how many pizzas you eat in the meantime. And also like some of the items will be reused, but some are really specific to scenarios, so we have a big pack of them to deliver a full-fledged narrative experience for players. The game, as you can see, is in late demo stage, so things are really nice. The minis are from the Mythic games, they're gorgeous. But as for the dice, I 3D printed them in my house like a week ago, so they're totally not final. They're going to be way nicer, everything is going to get better. We're heading for Kickstarter like late September, so I hope you'll be there with us.
Yeah, no, definitely. This is fantastic. And you're such a natural. You answered all the questions that I had planned when you started speaking. So you're fantastic, and I think you gave the audience everything they needed to know. So we're all going to be very excited to see this go live on Kickstarter.
Thank you so much.
Now, I did have one follow-up question, and this was just about Lucky Duck in general. You guys work with a lot of companies with a lot of IPs. So how has your experience been working with a variety of different companies and accommodating to their needs and their concerns in that regard?
Actually, it worked out very well for us. As you can see, we're continuing this path of work with collaborating with Mythic Games. Now we are working, we're delivering the Kingdom Rush brand. The game is super amazing. And also the response for both of the board gamers world and the mobile gamers world, we actually managed to merge them, like convince people from one world to join the other and the other side. Also with Jetpack Joyride, we made a great conversion. It worked really well. It's just being finalized, being shipped soon. In September, it's also gonna be at the backers' houses. So we are super excited working with other people, because always when you cooperate with someone, you get better results. So.
Definitely, because I think everyone wants everyone else to succeed, so when you're working together, great things happen. So I wanted to thank you again for chatting with us. So this was Time of Legends Destinies. It'll be in Kickstarter in September, so definitely check it out, and thank you so much for talking with me.